Surprise!
Hey there.
Hello.
It's Erin.
Candice.
And Rikki.
So we're doing a bonus break-in to the week because this is a question that came up in the Real WW Talk Facebook group, and we've been seeing a lot of chatter about it. And it is the new plan that WW is planning on unveiling November 11th.
Oh my goodness. Dun, dun, dun. Insert chaos.
Now, we'll say first off, this is all kind of speculation. There's a lot of rumor. There's a lot of sources, quote unquote, who know things but are anonymous and all of that jazz. But we do know for sure that November 11th is when a new plan is going to debut, because there are coaches who are actually specifically saying this in meetings and preparing their, their groups, their workshops for it. Now, we have not heard anything in our workshop. Have you guys heard anything that I've missed?
Nope.
Okay.
Not a peep.
Nothing has come out through our workshop. So we need some more dish from our workshop to happen.
Yeah. I only laugh because every 2 years or so, WW does this and everyone freaks out. Like the people who have been on WW for their whole life, we know it's coming.
Right.
You know it's
worked for me. Why did you change from core?
I mean, people are going to cry. They're going to be like, well, what about my tracker? You know, I'm ready for it all.
I feel like you could always hear a pin drop in the room. People who are like, okay, I need to listen to every single detail and decide if this is still for me.
And those who are going to announce that they're leaving, I'm gone. I am never, ever doing this program again. You took away my 0-point sugar-free Jell-O, and I will not deal with this, you know. But that's okay. We're here to help you digest this as veterans. We know we've been through this a lot.
Yeah. I mean, here's the cool thing. What I love about WW is that they are keeping the program fresh. And it's not just keeping it fresh for the sake of marketing, but fresh for the sake of science. And I know if you've seen the language coming out through them, especially on their Instagram, their chief science officer, like they have been really digging hard in the science behind why we eat, what we eat, how it affects our body and the ways that we do it. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the changes from when we first started 10 years ago to where we are today are so drastic. Like, do you remember being in the meeting room and arguing about Fiber One bars versus bananas, because bananas were 2 points and they were like 2 or 4 points, and a Fiber One bar was like 1 or 2 points. And we would choose eating a Fiber One bar over eating a good piece of fruit because the points were higher on the banana.
Yeah.
I was very hurt.
Yeah. I was too. I remember around that time there were a lot of things too, because the Fiber One bars, I remember for a period of time there were certain people who had like digestive issues when eating them, even if it was just one. But I feel like it was just one of those things that everybody was like, I'm going to buy a huge box of, and this is all I'm going to eat. I don't need fruit because that banana is 4 points. That's not healthy. You know, it was just backwards.
Well, I remember when they had the banana become 0 points on certain plans, and that was a big controversy because they were like, oh, bananas are full of sugar, and I can't believe that you all are negating the fact that it has calories. And they were like, wait a second, no one's telling you to eat 50 bananas in one sitting. And I remember the coaches having to roll their eyes and calm down and say, work with us here. 0 doesn't mean it doesn't matter.
Right.
So,
you still have to eat a serving size. We're still talking about serving sizes.
People are like, no, it's 0. It's 0 points.
I can eat as many as I want.
I think that happened too when the plan split into the 3 different plans. And it's like, what do you mean that Sally can eat, you know, as much like wheat pasta as she wants, and I have to track mine just because I do this one? How does she feel full? And I like, you know, it was the differences between the plan. I think that was the first time that they differentiated it outside of core.
So that you mentioned that, Rikki, that is one of the things according to the rumors. And by the way, I want to give credit before I go any further, because a lot of the content that we're going to talk about, theholymess.com, sassycookie.com, and then Pandemic Points on Instagram, they've kind of got the bulk of the information. And so we've kind of been flipping through that, as well as the WW shareholder or stakeholder call and the patent that's out there. So a lot of information, but we definitely want to credit those bloggers and that Instagram account. But the new plan is going to be called personal points. It's right now is the rumor, and it's not going to be broken up into 3 separate plans like we've had. It's actually going to be each person has their own personal plan. So no 2 plans will be alike. How do you guys feel about that? What do you think?
I mean, I like individualized plans because I think that we all have different needs. And so I'm intrigued to see what the pieces are of the plan that are going to be specific to you, because that's a lot to. I know that they've done it based on, the last iteration is the saturated fat, the calories, carbs, all of that. I'm excited to see how they're going to do it. I think personalized is a lot better than general.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you, Candice. And I think I'm curious to know, on top of that, how are they determining it? Are we going to have to take, these quizzes like we did in the beginning of the plan where they divided us up by color, the purple, green, blue? Are we going to have to take a long quiz? And, how are they going to determine that? Because I'd love to know, for a sugaraholic like me, are they going to look at my patterns or have me answer questions to get at those patterns and then determine something to help me in that direction? I know one of the things that we saw was that, and I think Erin, you shared this in an earlier podcast when we were kind of briefly talking about some of the changes, but that, they're kind of trying to gear towards supporting those who have diabetes. So I wonder if that's going to play a role into the general changes too. Like if somebody's kind of on that track where they're just eating too much sugar in a day, are they going to somehow modify the program to make suggestions or to make certain sweet things higher in points than they are now?
So on theholymess.com, they posted something that was a survey that was sent out not too long ago, apparently, to some select folks. Let me read you what the content of that email was. Introducing WW's most cutting edge, comprehensive, and personalized weight loss program. Cutting edge because it takes the entire nutritional label into account. Calories, protein, fiber, saturated fat, unsaturated, healthy fats, and added sugars are all included in this new points formula. No other system seamlessly reduces all this complexity into one simple number. Comprehensive because it isn't just a food system, it's an entire ecosystem that takes the whole you into account, incorporating your activity levels and water and vegetable intake, allowing you to grow your points budget and earn points for all the healthy things you do. It's one complete system that takes all into account. Personalized because for the first time ever with WW's guidance, you determine your own individual plan based on the foods you like and eat most often. These foods have 0 points and your plan is unique to you. With thousands of possible combinations, virtually no 2 plans are alike.
It sounds almost too good to be true. But I think, thinking practically, it's like, it's not going to be the foods I like that are like,
Listen,
what are we talking here?
I was going there. I was like, you're going to make cupcakes 0 points. How?
Right.
What are we doing?
Right. Right.
But one thing I always think about, I love that in this most recent plan that they really have promoted things like sleep, meditate, all the whole holistic approach to wellness is something that I am intrigued to see if they're able. It sounds like they're able to bring that into the plan.
Yeah. It sounds like it's not gonna, what they're gonna keep building on what they've already done. I'm really intrigued at the portion where it says it takes the whole you into account, incorporating your activity levels and water and vegetable intake, allowing you to grow your points budget.
Wait, though, are we going to bring back the slide, the tracker, the water track? I know the water tracker's back, but the fruit and vegetable tracker?
That would make my whole life, because that hurt a little less than them taking away the Bravo stars. But when they took away the little tracker for me to ding when I ate 5 fruits and vegetables, I stopped eating vegetables. And
She
fruit.
did, Candice.
I
This
stopped.
is what's so crazy. Like, you can eat vegetables anytime you want and as many as you want, but because you don't have a check mark, you're like, I'm out. Back to the Fiber One bars.
And when they gave the reason why, they were like, well, research has found that people want to track less. I was like, but that's dumb. I need the smiley face, because it gave you it gave a smiley face after you hit 5.
Yes.
And I would on purpose eat some strawberries, but now I was like, what's the point? Forget my health. Where's my smiley
Candice
face?
has not been in the produce section of a grocery store since 2006.
That's why I don't eat zucchini.
Why do you think I can't get her to try zucchini, chickpeas, all of it?
Remember, I'm a convert with the zucchini, but let's
That's
talk
right.
about whatever other vegetable Erin throws at us in a week. I'm not trying it because I don't get a smiley face.
I'm still
So
trying to get
maybe
you
with
to
this
try.
plan, they will give us a smiley face.
Listen, if you put some frozen riced cauliflower in your smoothie, I will fall over.
There she goes again. There she goes. Here it comes.
So, I think one of the other unique things that they're also talking about, Rikki, which you had mentioned, is the different plans and a focus for people who maybe have special diet needs, or different, I shouldn't say special diet needs, different diet needs, with diabetes and insulin resistance, as well as vegetarians, vegans, and people like myself who are gluten-free. And, the dairy intolerant. I mean, a lot of my foods that I go to tend to be lower carb with some higher fat, and that tends to get penalized. But I know avocado is not the enemy, and olive oil is not the enemy, within the right portion. So sometimes I kind of, go over points on things with that. But I'm like, when I sit and look at the end of the day, like, I know I've had good, healthy foods, like they talked about the saturated versus unsaturated. So I'm really intrigued to see how those plans play out.
And I love that they're being deliberate with the wording. They're not saying bad foods. They're saying less helpful.
Yes.
I mean, it's very PC, because I'm sure they know that it could be triggering to say you just ate a bad food, versus
Especially
this
if
was
they're-
less helpful.
Yeah, especially if they're trying to get away from, being categorized as a diet program, a diet you think restrictive, and, labeling those foods as good or bad. Whereas if this is a lifestyle change, I'm choosing to make healthier choices on a daily basis.
Candice, so you mentioned the healthful part, and that comes into play within the patent that WW filed. So if sassycooking.com changes to Weight Watchers for 2022, there's a little section where she breaks down what's in the patent. And it says, it seems as though that the foods, according to the patent, will be labeled into 4 categories, such as healthful, less healthful, even less healthful, and least healthful. And the UK has this traffic light system as to how they label foods. And so it looks like that they're actually going to kind of spin off of that. And they propose a food group nutritional value calculator that inputs data such as that displayed in following the traffic light labeling system, along with a consumer selection of one of 8 food groups. Based on the food group selection, the calculator carries out a corresponding decision tree algorithm by comparing the input amounts of selected nutrients against standard values specific to each of the separate food groups. Based on one or more such comparisons, the food is classified as either excellent, very good, good, or avoid.
Okay.
All right.
That's fascinating to me. I'm
Sounds
so
good.
intrigued. But then have you guys seen I'm noticing even more kind of things that are shifting in WW, like on Instagram.
Okay.
Have you noticed that the influencers have changed?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're back to, because they had laid off the influencer.
Ambassadors.
Yes,
Right.
the ambassadors.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm starting to see them show up more in their Instagram stories. But the people that they're showing, to me, are very fit people.
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing WW? Which is a judgment on my end. But like one of the people that was in the story today, like she grabbed 20-pound dumbbells off the shelf, and I'm like, oh shoot. And she's
What are you
like
gonna do with
curling.
that?
Right.
And she's curling with it, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Did you do WW or
Right. And she
definitely...
she looked fit to me. So I thought that was interesting, but maybe they're trying to, according to the one piece, I know Candice, you read it too, the stakeholders is that they're really aiming for millennial women.
Yeah. That's where they've had a lot of success with the digital 360, according to the stakeholders meeting. So I think that they're trying to capitalize on that success that they've had with that demographic.
Yeah, I think that's kind of interesting. What else did you pick up from the from that stakeholders?
Yeah,
meeting?
so when I thought that was just fascinating to see where they've had a lot of their success, because I was interested in to see how COVID had impacted operations, because you had to go virtual, and I think they did an excellent job with the changes that they made, and it was obviously moving to a digital platform. We got the coaches and the 24-hour access to the meetings with the kind of like, I call it AA for WW, where you can find a meeting at any time of the day. But what I took away from it was that the digital 360 model, which is kind of the in-between plan, that I still have not truly grasped how it works. Erin, you talked about it a bit.
So I just figured it out because we actually had a couple people in the Real WW Talk Facebook group post about Digital 360. And so it is a digital program, and it sounds like, as opposed to being able to have access to all of the meeting coaches, like we'll share in our, our regular podcast that release on Saturday, there are specific digital 360 coaches. So you get the app and you get all the tools in the app, but you have a different set of coaches, and these are it's curated content that coach is sharing, and they'll go live, but it doesn't sound like it's a typical meeting room. And somebody can feel free to, drop in the comments to correct us on it. It's kind of, I wish WW had a more clear explanation, because even for us as longtime members who are, doing the research, we can't really even explain it.
It
Yeah,
sounds
we were
almost
confused.
like an Instagram for Weight Watchers. Like, it seems like it's less of a personal connection. And again, I could be wrong, but if you're not able to have that interaction, more so you're commenting on a video that they're doing live and they may or may not respond, like that to me seems more like an Instagram type setting.
And it's a smaller group is what I gathered as well. So
but we've got members in the Real W Talk Facebook group who love doing digital 360. And then we've got other members who are like us, who are all about, the online meetings as well as our local meeting.
Well, and back to what Erin asked, WW has found a lot of success with digital 360. And it's a model that I know that they're looking to grow. As you know, we are all meeting members. We go in person, and they had that went down during COVID, but it's starting to come back up. So we have a dedicated center that we go to, and word on the street is that they're looking to kind of phase out some of the dedicated centers and make it more part of like a collaboration with hotels, which is something that we found with one of the centers that we visited, actually virtually. They shut theirs down and moved to a hotel. So I think that they're looking at reducing their overhead and putting more into the online experience, which I think is going to work well for them.
Yeah. And they said 90% of WW members are digital members, which is amazing to think that like we're 10%, but like,
no wonder they took our Bravo stars. They were like,
but listen, now you're making all this money and you've reduced the overhead. You can put some stickers back in the centers for us.
Because they said the numbers are increasing. People are coming back. Because I think that they would be remiss if they did not understand, and they seem to get it, that WW and what the meeting room has been a big thing for a lot of members, and what made our program different from the other ones where you felt like that's why I never was an online only member. I just needed that interaction with people. I'm a people person. So,
Well, since we started going back into the meeting space, I can see a direct result in my tracker.
me too.
Direct
me
result.
too.
Mm-hmm.
So wasn't another aspect of what one of the things they're trying to change or noticing is trying to sell their own like Weight Watchers products, WW, excuse me, products, and have that kind of storefront be built up a little bit more.
Yeah, they talked about within that stakeholders call too that they're looking to white label more products and even develop more, not only just food products, but also like, they've got the egg cookers and the rice cookers and like a whole lot more of like even just cookware lines. I mean, I would probably buy some WW cookware if it's good stuff,
Sure.
I'm down for it.
Yeah. And the other piece that they're talking about bringing back, and I actually had gone to the experience, was, Oprah did the tour, and it was like the live tour where she did like motivational speaking and talking about goal setting and other things. But there was always the plug for WW at the end, and you got your little chips that were the WW chips and things. So I got the promotion piece of it, and they had the success stories and lifetimers who came. But I think they're going to be bringing that back, because you all will recall, because we attended them. It was free and open to anyone. You didn't have to be a WW member to do it when it was online.
Yes.
After COVID hit. So I am interested to see where they go with that, because they had so much success with bringing people to the program and introducing the digital 360 and the WW plan, that I can see that being a big part of what's coming for next year, regardless of what happens with COVID or if the world opens back up. I think when you see that something's working, it's going to stay. So, and I know that the thing that was exciting to me about that was there was a lot of discussion in her sessions about mindset. And mindset to me is an integral part of the plan. It's not just about the food.
Yeah.
The reason why we talk every week is because we know mindset is key. So I hope they don't lose that. And I'm interested to see what other opportunities and partnerships will be coming from those changes.
Yeah. I think they did say that that's something that they want to keep doing, especially because they did 2 online ones. I think it was 2, over 5 million people watched and engaged with it, which that's just, astronomical. That's amazing.
That's where Erin learned about her pizza from James Corden.
Right. Right.
She was like, oh my gosh.
So clearly it worked for sure.
Yeah.
But, when you talked about too, about partnering with other people, we can see what's the new book,
The Shift.
Which if you've got some, what are they called? Our the little bonus
wellness
our
wins.
rewards. Yeah. Your wellness wins. I think it's $4,000.
I was like, I'm not buying that book, Erin, for $4,000.
It's the most expensive book, but it will change your life. If you have 4,000 wellness wins, you can cash them in to get a copy of the book.
Can I tell you how stingy I'm being? I understand that I can get the book for 4,000 wellness wins, but I'm like, do I want that or the keychain or the water bottle? Because I'm so, I don't know. I'm like, how long is it going to take me to get my wins back?
Well, yeah, because something else amazing could pop up in the meantime, and you're back down to 500.
Isn't that horrible?
You guys,
oh my
Erin,
gosh,
give me some of your wins, okay?
Look at how long it's been since I've redeemed anything. Wow. And when you track, those wins keep going up.
You're like, Erin, just pass them on over here. Buy me the book. Buy me the book for Christmas.
The wine glasses that they have with the gold markers for the ounces, those are amazing.
Don't put them in the dishwasher.
Quality.
Right. Say it again.
Oh, do not put them in the dishwasher.
No.
You will have no lines left. It will just be a glass.
That's right. Okay? That's it.
So that's a good tip that Erin gave, that she was like, honey, don't do it. And I have not. I haven't.
Don't. Okay. So, I mean, I think that's kind of everything from what we've seen. It looks like, again, the program's going to roll out November 11th. There are people, coaches and employees are already testing the plan. Sounds like it's going to be called Personal Points. That was the name that was trademarked and with the patent.
Yeah.
It will be a highly personalized plan. So yes, blue, purple, and green plans, they are going to go away, but don't freak out because food is still food. And the good food that you're eating now that is helping you lose weight is the same good food that will help you lose weight on any plan that you decide to follow.
And can everybody let's just 1 second, let's all take a deep breath. Release. You will be fine.
Yes.
We have all been here. I know change is scary. This is not meant to be condescending, but I promise you that you will be fine.
Yes.
Because it is a very interesting time. Like, stay away when you see the message boards and the Instagram posts and people taking it to like 100.
Yes.
Recognize that they are a business. WW is a business. They would not make the changes unless they really felt that it was something that was going to have long-term success. I do trust that.
Yes.
And and one thing I was thinking about as I was just looking through a couple of these sites was this is the first digital launch that they've had, because previously, we didn't have this large amount of people who were accessing the meetings. Like, we had people who were digital only, but they didn't access the meetings. So I'm interested to see how they get that new member material out. Is it going to be emailed? Is it going to be a PDF in the chat? Like, I'm used to getting my paper book and reading up on my materials. And that's one thing I'm happy about doing this in person because of the paper, but I'm sure they'll have to have a way to deliver that material to all the meeting members who attend only virtual meetings. So
I'm glad you said that, Rikki, because I'm like you. I do like my paper stuff. I was very sad when they said you could just bring your phone to weigh in and they would scan it. I was like, where are you writing it down? But where's the little, because they had a sticker. That's what made it legit to me. I used to, when I went to 1,500 centers, I wouldn't go to centers where they didn't have the little thing that they'd print out. And now they're like, I can just do it on your phone. It feels so impersonal, but that's okay.
We're like, I have a box with all of my booklets in it from when I started to then when the last booklet came. They're like,
and when you start a new plan, that was the exciting thing. You get all new books. Feel like 15,000 trees. I mean,
But yeah, to Candice's point too about like, just take a deep breath. We do want to be sensitive that if you are on a losing streak right now, right, and you are having great success getting towards your goal, that it can feel a lot unsettling that this change will unsettle the change that you're already making, right, and may hold you back. But if you can just give it a little grace and give it a little bit of space, WW, when they've introduced the new plans, they've always been effective plans. And like you said, Candice, their business, and for them to roll out something to, I forget how many millions of members that they have, right? They're not going to do something that's going to shoot themselves in the foot.
Right. That's a good point.
They're following the trends in some ways, but they do have scientists and people who are very, very smart and do this for a living that they've made a part of their team. So I say worst case, you give it a try. What do you have to lose? Like, that's my thing. What I'm thinking of it more in the positive of what do I have to gain? What is it that they're going to teach that may really make a positive impact even more than what the current plans are doing,
Yeah.
And I respect the willingness to go, hey, this plan that we had once doesn't cut it anymore. You shouldn't be choosing a Fiber One bar over a banana because a banana is whole food and your body scientifically responds different to a banana versus a Fiber One bar. And it's not a knock on Fiber One bars. I used to love them. Okay. I can't eat them anymore because I'm gluten dairy intolerant, but
I do not love the side effects. That's a whole just say it.
That's because you didn't eat enough chickpeas. I didn't have any problem.
If okay. Certain bars, you would know.
That's right. So all that to say, we would encourage you just to like what we've said before, along with our journey, like hold things loosely in your hand, envision an open palm, because when your hands are tied together, knotted up into a fist, nothing can come in and nothing can come out. And if you keep your palms open loosely, things can come and go, and it hurts much less because your fingers aren't being pried open from it. So,
and I think also the last thing I would say is also remember the power that you have as a member.
yeah.
Feedback is important. So
Yes.
as they are learning, and they're going to be looking for feedback, they're going to be looking to hear, so when there's opportunities to give it, whether they ask for it or not, I would say be honest, because if they hear a lot of things, over time, change will happen.
Right. Like we're still putting in for Bravo stickers every week.
Darn it.
And our veggie tracker.
And the veggie tracker. Someday that will come back.
It's coming. I feel it.
All right. Well, that's it for us. Just checking in, telling you what we know, what we've been able to find out about the plan. If you've got any other scoop that you found and would like to share, please do come join us over in the Real WW Talk Facebook group. We're on Instagram as well as YouTube. And then, of course, the podcast. We'd love to hear from you. You can also send us an email, realwwtalk@gmail.com. We'd certainly love to hear from you there as well. All right. Peace out, and we will see you next time.